Ashe County Oral History Project. An interview with Albert Ashe at his home at Mount Rogers, Virginia, near White Top. Interviewers Clarice Weaver and Ruth Dashman. May the 19th, 1981.
Tell me about how he sounded, you know.
Yeah.
About his sound, the pitch pipe and all that stuff.
I'll tell you how. You gotta have good acoustical wood. That is the first thing.
You gotta have an ear.
Yeah. And you got to know then how thin to cut that wood, not cut it too thin or leave it too thick. And if you could have the same kind of wood to make, say, a dozen alcohol, then you could build up to it, you see. If you missed on one of them, you pick it up on another, what you had lost that way. But nobody ever has that.
You know, what kind of food you do, the old kind of what pretty close what it takes to make it good feel what they need to be.
Yeah.
Every now and then you run across one that's just great, made wrong out of sorry wood and everything
The
else.
ugliest thing ever was, and still play good, you know.
That's what
You know what
About my fiddle.
have soul.
I tell you what
Yeah.
you'll do,
Yeah,
while
that's
it's
right.
so bad about it, if you run across one that's as thick as they'll tell
Your
Martin
hand.
to be the best fiddle you ever seen, then you run across one and you say, well, that thing's thin, that wouldn't play it. It's like,
Maybe a high-pitched tone, too.
Yeah, you just
Be
never
thin.
How was the guy told you that time at Sprague, Albert, that was a salesman or something, you took the fiddle for him?
Yeah, he said
it had
that
soul.
sold. From down in
Charlotte.
salesman, sold them rivet machine parts in there. Was it? And he wanted me to go home and get it and show it to him, you know, and I went and got it. And I could hear him playing it over all the machinery and everything. He's over in stock room doing his playing with Jack, with Hal Miller. I've not seen Hal Miller in ages.
He's not in the county.
He's not? I wondered about it. I run into Paul out at a service station.
Now, Albert, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the White Top festivals that they used to have here. Do you know when they began having them?
They began in, I guess it was the early 30s, late 20s or early 30s. And they had them over a period of, I'd say 6 or 7 years that I can remember of. Possibly more, but that I know it was over that longer period anyhow. And the last one was scheduled at the very time that the 1940 flood washed all the bridges and the railroad out and everything through here, you know.
They had to cancel it.
Had to cancel it. And this was Lawyer Blakemore from over at Abingdon. He was the one that had the old lodge building put up there. Hassinger sawed the lumber for it over at Conrock on their band mill. And the building was a huge building of its type. It was kind of what you might say a rustic structure of bolted together timber. It had to be bolted together and had big spruce logs underneath for the foundation. And 5,000 people was there one year when I was up there. They estimated them at 5,000, and that was a crowd, an unbelievable crowd for any of these people to have seen, you know, in the mountains here. And the cars, you know, they had great big high wheels and running boards on them, and they could park anywhere out through that field, and now you can't take a car out into the fields nowhere. They'll drag with you right now. But they had some of the best fiddlers conventions there and the best music there. They would come from Tennessee, well, from all over, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, and they get to them some way, you know. And they had some great fiddlers there. There's one that Ray Blevins, his uncle, Frank, he was one of the winning fiddlers, and there's a Jess Johnson out of West Virginia that was a winner, and Harold White, the left-handed fiddler out of Conrock over here, he was good at it, and Fiddling Art Wooten and others, you know. And they just had a wonderful time. It's supposed to last about 3 days, but it lasts for weeks. They'd go up there, you know, people wouldn't camp out and freeze to death. It was cold on that mountain always at night, you know.
But it kept the deputy sheriff busy. I mean, the
sheriff. The sheriffs was very lenient toward them. They had a little place down there they could fasten up the very worst ones, but they didn't keep them but a few minutes till they turned them out. And they was singing and playing all over the whole place, you know, all around there. A lot of the local people participated in it. We had one dancer there, Harvey Sheets. Well, there's 3 dancers from this area. Harvey Sheets and Ethel's grandfather, Bud Spencer, and Charles Henderson down here at Rugby, Virginia. And they was usually one or the other of them got the dancing prize, you know.
Really?
Yeah, and Mrs. Roosevelt come up there one year.
You mean the president's wife?
Uh-huh. She was on the mountain, and she gave out the prizes the year that Ethel's grandfather won dancing prize.
Is it?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that's
She had relatives.
Eleanor
Roosevelt.
Uh-huh.
She had relatives over around Chilhai somewhere or another.
Really?
Uh-huh. Some of this, you know, this was known as the Douglas land that lays back in this White Top country here. And some of her relatives was owned this Douglas Land Company, or was over this Douglas Land Company some way or another. And Nancy Baldwin, known as Nan Baldwin, she was a great folk singer that lived right over here on Hilton Creek. She won time after time there.
Now, was there some man who sang too? Was he blind?
Yeah, that was G.B. Grayson.
G.B. Grayson. Now, the reason I wanted to ask that is I saw a film, seemed like it came from the Library of Congress or something. And it had these people. There was a blind singer, and he sang some songs.
Well, now, G.B. Grayson was a blind singer and fiddler, too. He was one of the... He recorded with Henry Whittier from down here at Crumpler, North Carolina. And Mr. Grayson got killed. He was riding the running board of a car between Laurel Bloomery and Damascus there, and a load of extract knocked him off of the car, you know, and killed him there. And that was the first show business I was ever in, was with his buddy, Henry Whittier, who lived down at Crumpler there. I went over and seen Mr. Whittier and took my fiddle along, and he wouldn't never let me leave, so I played shows with him around in the area. We'd just have the houses full of people to listen to us, and admission back then was 10 and 15 cents.
So a lot of people could, well, I guess it's hard to get 10
it was,
cents,
yeah.
but a lot of people could go.
But that was money to us, you know. And I played shows with him for, I guess, a year and a half or something or another.
So they never started those up again, did they?
They had one more fiddlers convention on the White Top Mountain while Wade Richardson and Ezra Greer had it leased, you know. But there's only one of them, and no, there was two of them. I judged one of them, helped judge it. They had two of them, and that was all the ones they ever had. They let it go to Galax, and that is the Galax Fiddlers Convention originated on the White Top Mountain.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing in Galax.
Yeah.
But let's see, now they had a dance hall up there too.
Yeah, that was it. That's the one that was tore down, you know, and made the firehouse out of it out here. And I've got
the Mount Rogers
two
Fire
of the
Pit.
big spruce logs I bought off of them to make fiddle tops out of, you know, that red
so
spruce.
They'd
Make
aged
the-
well, hadn't
Yeah,
they?
it's up in 50 years old now.
Well, that's, of course, that was as successful when it was going in White Top as it
Right.
is over.
It was very successful, and Mr. Blakemore made himself some money. Of course, he invested a lot in that building, you know, which I doubt if he ever more than broke even in all of it, but the responsibility is just more than he cared for, you know, and he just decided after the 1940 flood that he'd never have another, you know. And he kept that till the government bought it from him here 10 years ago or something.
One other thing I think is interesting, we were talking about the money being scarce and what have you, growing up, and you showed us a fiddle that you made, and you paid the doctor bill for your first daughter.
The second one.
Second daughter, Audrey, with the fiddle.
Yeah.
Now, who was that to? To Doc?
She was born in Ashe County up at the old hospital there.
And was it Dr. Ray or who?
No,
was
it would have been Dr. Dean Senior, you know, John
He
Senior.
sold Carl Jackson the fiddle.
Yeah, I sold Carl Jackson the fiddle and got the money, you know. And then Carl let Bud Ray have the fiddle, and Bud kept it all the years. And then when Audrey made the big harp for him out at the Episcopal Church,
St. Mary?
they had the fiddle laying on the altar, and the church when she went to when they went to bless the harp, you know, and it had a note on it telling me I was supposed to go when I was sick to take it and do whatever I wanted to with it. And I told Audrey that I would like for her to have it as long as she wanted it, and then I would like to know that it went to the library up there or somewhere where it, in memory of Mr. Ray and his mother, you know. And I don't know what'll become of it.
Well, that's really interesting.
But
Well, let's see, is there anything else that you would like to add to some of the things we've talked about?
well, not necessarily. I would like to say that as far as I'm concerned, the people of the mountains of Ashe County and Grayson County are
I would say the best people on earth right now.
Well, I'd agree with you there. Of course, you've traveled around a great deal, and
They're good, honest, hard-working people, and they've still got the old-time, I don't know what you'd call it, but they don't grow into the future like a lot of places do. You know, they've got time to talk with each other and visit with each other and help each other in time of need or anything. And anyway, that you need help, they're going to be there.
how many records have you cut? We were discussing.
I never got into that till right lately. We have 3 albums that we did one with Heritage and 2 with Mountain, and then we're on a couple more. One was 2 or 3 more. Rounder and what was that? Yeah.
Oh, of course, he's been on one at Gay Lac.
Yeah, and
Up at Wolf Trap.
Wolf Trap. That's a good one. Comes from there.
Excuse me. I don't know about, I was listening to the Channel 4 on Wolf Trap.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard that on Channel 4?
Mm-hmm. Did you get that song?
Wolf
They
Trap
played
is a
for
great
3
festival
years
there.
of this one.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what year it was.
Well, now you're,
And I have
Your
gone out
music.
to a number of places, you know, where they call me to go to these big festivals and so on. In colleges, we go to Berea about once a year, and I am booked again over in Elkton, West Virginia, where I was last year. And we go to Harper's Ferry and Dartmouth College up in New Hampshire, and Richmond, Virginia to the fairs. I've been set up down there to do demonstrations and so on. And a good many places, you know, where they look for stuff of that nature.
well, I would say,
Yeah.
it'd been,
I made a mandolin down at Richmond, Virginia. I called it the Richmond.
now the Library of Congress did they have a collection of your music?
Yeah, they do. The Library of Congress has, I recorded for them one time with Wayne Henderson over at Walter Henderson's from about 8 o'clock till around 12. And they have that. And they also have Wayne's dad in among them that was recording that.
I was just thinking your good statement about the mountain people a few minutes ago. I hope it never changes, don't you?
I sure do. I don't think it ever will. It's just something here to...
You know, one reason it won't change.
Tape's on, but that's okay. Go ahead.
You know, the people who come here, unless there's the right kind of people, because they don't appreciate it.
No. No.
So that always makes me.
But they'll take a stranger, and he's considered one of the best till he proves himself otherwise. So
I think that, you know, it is interesting, and I think I've run into this doing this tape, that our black population here in the county, they relate to the mountain people
Yeah.
more so than they do the black
Oh,
culture
yeah.
that we
Uh-huh.
think of as the black.
Uh-huh.
So that the black man is a mountain man first, and the white man's a mountain man first, and the red man's a mountain
Yeah,
man first. And
yeah.
then after that, it falls into whether you're a good person or not
That's right.
somehow.
That's right.
But that seems to be the theme. Is that right?
That's right. And these mountain people have never had no racial problems with nobody. They have treated everybody as a human being and think of them as such. There would never be no problems if they all was like the mountain people here.
I think you're right there.
Talking about the golden rule.
Yeah, that's the whole story right there.
Well, you
People
wonder-
go by that. They don't need no other thing to go by. That one little rule will cover all the rest of it.
You wonder when our pioneer settlers came in here and saw these mountains, wonder if they thought they could endure, or were they just happy?
They
Must
had
have been very
they had
happy
some doubt about it. The one that settled over here across this hill, known as Fee's Branch in there, the man who settled there, his first experiment with the environment was to see if he could grow potatoes. And the potatoes did well for him, and he stayed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my people now settled on the Elk Garden up here, and that was one of the most hostile places they could have possibly have took up because of that west wind that whipped through there. They couldn't grow anything, there. Or up on the White Top Mountain, there'd be no way you could grow corn up there, or on the Elk Garden either, or the upper grasses, they call it across here. Because the west wind, when it would get up about a foot high, whirls it around and around and around till it breaks the roots loose from the ground, and it never gets no size. You just can't grow it. You can grow beans and stuff like that, but out here, how they could grow fruit, apples, and so on, and how they would string it up, take willows and strip the bark off of a willow bush and cut it into a narrow strip, and they'd string the apple quarters on that. My grandfather, and his grave is lost somewhere on Elton Creek. We don't, none of us know where it is. He died and they buried him, and that was it. And he evidently was a asthma sufferer, and he couldn't work like a lot of men, so he would dry the apples. He would sit and peel apples and dry them, That was, yeah. Died when my daddy was very small.
Well, it makes you appreciate your heritage when you know how things were.
Yeah, it'd been my great-grandfather, I guess it was, but you didn't know where he was. And I know where my grandfather's buried.
Well, they had it rough, but they endured and stayed.
Yeah, they had it pretty tough, and but they had their fun. Along like a story I told Audrey a while back. She's writing a few funny stories, a little book, and it's being published now about my grandfather. This haunted house that the people no one could stay in, so they decided to band together, as many as they could get together, and go and stay in that house one night to see if they could stay there. They had gathered in this old house, and it had a high picket fence all the way around it, and a cabbage patch in below it. The cabbage about half grown, and so they had to have the fun, the boys did. So my grandfather and his friend, they got together and decided to give them a scare, So they was wondering how they could manage to scare these people out of that house, and they're going through a pasture field, and they found the skull of an old horse out there. So they said, this is it right here. So they got them a pole and a wire, wired this horse head skull to that pole, and they made it up for my granddad to be down on the ground, and when he dropped this horse head back over the picket fence, for him to pull grass like the horse was a-grazing, and they was both down on the ground, and they went up and got it right directly in front of the light where it was shining out through the door, and hollered, hello, this fella did, and somebody finally ventured to stick his head out at the and then here more and more and more come sticking their heads out to see who it was, and he had this old horse head dangling over the picket fence. Said, my horse is just plumb give out. Said, I'd sure appreciate it if I could stay all night with you, and dropped it back down. My granddad pulled the grass. No one said a word. He raised it back up and said, I don't think he can make another mile. I think I'm just going to have to stay all night with you folks. And they tore out of that house. jumped that picket fence and said they kicked cabbage heads as high as a tree as they run through the cabbage.
Well, they certainly did have their fun, didn't they?
Yeah, they had their fun. There was a lot of things that went on then, as he is now. People they never change.
No, people are people. Well, Albert, I appreciate you taking your time
It's been a
off.
pleasure for you ladies to visit with us. Come on back anytime.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll give you a copy of this when we...
All right. I appreciate it.